Here are 14 flight secrets never told to passengers. Number 14. The oxygen mask lasts only 15 minutes. Whenever there's a drop in cabin pressure or the plane flies at a height with no oxygen, the emergency oxygen mask suddenly drops before you, right? And then you feel relieved, hoping everything is under control. However, do you know the number of minutes that the mask could function as a lifesaver? The oxygen mask only lasts for 15 minutes. So shocking. What if the pilot could not bring the plane down to a height with enough oxygen within those 15 minutes? Now chill, you won't die, and don't get scared that quickly because it normally takes a pilot 30 seconds to bring the plane to an altitude where you can breathe without the oxygen mask. The crucial thing is to wear the mask as soon as possible, because if you don't, you might lose consciousness within 30 seconds at such a height with no oxygen. Number 13, there is a secret spot for sleeping on the plane. How will you fathom the thought that your pilot could sleep while flying? That can make your breath skip, but that's the truth. Pilots and flight crew have a secret spot for sleeping. It's not an easy task to fly for 12 hours at a stretch without being exhausted, so flight crew and pilots are afforded the time to rest in the crew rest compartment. But this is not obvious to passengers. It's hidden away from the passenger's cabin because of the disturbing thought that something tragic could happen while the pilot sleeps. However, that's not the case. On a long flight, more pilots and crew are on board. So, when a pilot is exhausted, he can be replaced with another pilot while he rests. Many aircrafts have one space for the crew and another for pilots. Depending on the aircraft, these compartments may be constructed above the passenger's cabin or below. When you're on a long flight, note the rotation of flight attendants. Number 12. You cannot die on a plane, but you might have flown with a dead body. Normally, flight attendants can perform a level of first aid and even try to resuscitate a passenger. But if the passenger dies, the time of death cannot be declared. Technically, you cannot be declared dead on a plane. A person is only declared dead after landing, according to BBC. However, if someone dies, there's nothing like a mortuary cabin on the plane where the crew can keep the body until landing. Therefore, where do you think they'll keep the body? Your guess is as good as mine. The body would be placed right there on the passenger seats, though covered. When you look around and you see all the passengers sleeping, perhaps one or two are resting peacefully in the other world. Can you imagine flying with a dead person for like 12 hours? Number 11. The bell sound on a plane is a secret code. If you've ever boarded a plane, you must be familiar with a chime that sounds occasionally. Well, while you just concentrate on what you're doing, messages are flying to the mind of the flight crews. Usually, they're not something serious. They could be to inform the crew of turbulence detected on the flight path, a change of route, or guess what? An emergency. Having discovered this top secret, when you're on board next time and hear that sound, just turn to an air host and ask, what is the cockpit saying? Number 10. The lavatory door can be opened from the outside. You might not have heard this before, that while you're inside the toilet, someone else can open the lavatory door from the outside. This is possible through an external lock hidden beneath the no smoking sign on the door. Next time you board, pay closer attention to that sign. Though this unlock system is for safety reasons, what if your pain or oppressed person discovers the lock and opens? Sorry would be the word, I guess, but the damage has already been done. Number 9. How pure is a cup of coffee or water on a plane? According to the Environmental Protection Agency, the drinking water on more than 1 out of every 10 planes tested positive for high levels of coliform. Now you're wondering what that means. Coliform means a bacterium found in human feces. Though this bacterium is not harmful, other dangerous microorganisms that can cause food poisoning tag along with it. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, oftentimes, the water served in a plane is not thoroughly purified. After hearing this astonishing secret, you might henceforth think twice before ordering a cup of coffee or water on a plane. Number 8. Be alert when the light is turned off. During takeoff or landing, the light goes off. Have you ever thought about this? Many believe the primary reason is to lull passengers to sleep or make them more comfortable. That's not the case. Turning down the light helps passengers' eyes acclimate to the darkness in case something unusual occurs during takeoff or landing. Now that you know, try not to panic next time the lights are turned off on board. Number 7. Your boarding pass has a lot of hidden information. You probably paid no attention to your boarding pass before now, but after unveiling this secret, you'll pay more attention to it. Do you know that your boarding pass can be used to track your movement? Most of the information on the boarding pass does not make sense to you. However, they carry a wealth of interesting and sensitive information. The first 2 letters before the flight number refer to the airline. The numbers in your flight number can be used to detect the direction you are flying. The odd numbers denote flying south, while the even numbers mean that you're flying west. Whereas the 6-character segment of text on your boarding pass is your booking reference or passenger name record. This little code can be used to check your destination, age, and credit card information. So guide your boarding pass jealously. It's your whole life out there on a piece of paper or e-document. Number 6, the tray tables are the dirtiest things you will find on a plane. This may sound unbelievable, but that's the hard truth. The tray tables are one of the dirtiest things you'll find on a plane. You would wonder if there is no one to clean them. Yes, there are aircraft cleaners, but they only clean the trays once a day. So endeavor to come on board with sanitizing wipes to wipe down your tray, because the last passenger could have done diverse kinds of activities on it, like drooling to changing diapers. You would not want to eat your sandwich alongside some germs. Number 5, flight attendants don't party during layovers. If you're a flight attendant, you can relate to this, and if you're planning to become one, then you need to know this. As a flight attendant, you dare not get drunk or eat anything while flying. The airline rules prohibit that. Former flight attendant Sean Kathleen said, most flight crews simply grab some food and hit the sheets after clocking off, as the penalties for being caught drunk or even hungover on the job are severe. You can arrive for a flight and someone is there to give you a breathalyzer or a drug test. That's the life of a flight attendant. Number 4, switching airplane mode may not be as important as you think. Boarding a plane requires that you put your phone in airplane mode so that it won't interfere with the plane's electronic system. That's what the rules say. However, does it matter? According to pilot Patrick Smith, it's unlikely that cell communications will disrupt the takeoff or landing of a plane because aircraft are designed to avoid any sort of interference. Nevertheless, it remains necessary. Flight attendants may also tell you to keep your laptops properly. This is not due to any technical issue, but it could fall off your table and cause a scene in the plane. Therefore, will you love a big show or keep to the rules? You decide. Number 3, not all safety rules count. There are safety rules guiding everyone on a plane. There are rules guiding the crew's conduct, pilots, and passengers. All these rules must be strictly adhered to. However, are they that important? Pilots acknowledge that rules aboard aircraft do not make much sense, like when the crew has to be seated with their seatbelts on. When the aircraft is 40,000 feet in the air and going 400 miles an hour, flight attendants can walk the aisles serving food and hot drinks, even amid turbulence. However, they must have their belt on when the aircraft is going down to land, just at about 5 miles an hour. Does that have any meaning? There are safety rules, so everyone must obey them. Number 2, double check your safety equipment. If you have ever boarded a plane, you must have listened to the cabin crew as they pointed out all of the safety equipment at your disposal. This may look like a routine to you. Notwithstanding, start paying attention to them. You often hear that a life jacket is under your seat in case of an emergency. In reality, you will not find it there most of the time. Don't be startled. The life jacket is the most frequently stolen item on an aircraft. Therefore, double check whether yours is still under the seats. If not, alert the cabin crew immediately. You won't want to scrabble under your seat when you are asked to put it on. Also, pay close attention to how the oxygen mask is used. Even though it's just for 15 minutes, it's better on than never. Planes may be flying with low fuel. You may be thinking that aircraft must have kept extra fuel in case there is a sudden need for it. But you're wrong. Airlines are always trying to reduce costs as low as possible. So planes are filled with just enough fuel to get to a destination because flying with extra weight burns fuel. However, when there is a need for extra fuel, planes stop at a closer airport to refuel. What if the fuel burns down, but there is no airport close by to refuel? Enjoy the video? Now watch this.